And then after that, we got burgers. And my mum was like, nah, we're moving.
Yeah.
So then I grew up in a estate in Gascoigne, lived there for like 14 years. There was just so much talent within our borough. Hence why I kind of went on and started off my dance platform after. Knowing that I've come from a low income background, family from a rough estate, I think there's that kind of like element, like kind of like I want to get out of this.
Yeah.
I want to be a bit more. We've hit a hard time. Like everyone's talking about money. And I was like, oh, but when I was at uni, actually, I was very much like on it with my finances.
Yeah.
And then that's what made me realize there was actually certain things that I was doing that could potentially help other people. But then the content creation on the side was kind of overweighing. And actually I was getting paid more doing content creation. That was the craziest thing of it all. I thought, wait, how am I getting paid more doing that? To the point where I started booking off leave to go and do campaigns. As of October, so basically when I left my full-time job, I basically made my dance hustle, my main hustle.
How many streams is this? Is this like...
Yeah, it's like loads, isn't it?
Is it 7, 8?
But more.
Welcome to the Takeoff Experience, where I sit down with highly driven people to talk about their journey, their failures, and their successes. If you want to take off in your career, your business, your finances, or your mindset, then this podcast is for you. Welcome back to the Takeoff Experience. We have a very special guest here in the building, Elvire. We've got a fellow content creator. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. As we were talking offline, I'm a little bit under the weather. I'm gonna try and do it. Doing it for we're doing it right. We can't cancel it. So wanted to give the listeners and watchers a bit of an insight into who you are. So who is Elvire?
Yeah, so my name's Elvire, aka Save With Elvs, and I mainly talk about money saving tips and side hustles. So I help people figure out side hustle ideas or just kind of share my own personal experience, and sometimes actually just document it like a mini vlog, and like this is like the day life of a side hustler. Ultimately, helping people save money, especially during the cost of living as well, but also helping them kind of figure out how can they generate more money. Yeah.
And it's especially very important in the current environment that we're in, with like high inflation, interest rates going up, people feeling like they don't earn enough, they can't save quick enough. So I feel like your content is really, really valuable at this time, and you're smashing it. So just keep doing it. Thank you. Wanted to talk a little bit about your story. So like where are your parents from?
So Mum is Angolan and dad's Congolese.
Oh, nice.
And I was born in Holland.
Were you?
Yeah.
That's a madness.
Yeah.
Okay, so you born in Holland. Did you grow up there?
Yeah, I did. I left when I was 6 years old. I'm now 24. Got 5 siblings, so 4 of us were born in Holland, and the last one was born in the UK.
Do you speak the language? Dutch?
Klein beetje, a little bit.
Yeah,
it could be.
I mean, all of you are there, right? Like,
yeah.
Do you speak it within a family?
So my dad actually lives in Holland. So when we go back, we pick up certain words, but when they speak fast, sometimes I'm like, you can't. I can't register. Like, but I can survive if you drop me there.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, say a Dutch word. Because I don't even really know Dutch.
I think you probably know what this means. Goedemorgen.
No, what's that?
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Okay. Oh, that does sound like good morning. Yeah. Oh, that's
kind
mad.
of hear.
That's mad.
Or goedemiddag. You can kind of hear the words in there.
Okay.
It means like good afternoon. Like,
it's like another version of English or something like that, right?
You could say that with a lot of scratches to the throat.
Yeah. That's mad. Wow, that's it. Yeah. So you said Angola, and where was that other country?
Congo.
And Congo. Have you been to either of them?
Never been to Africa.
Is it?
No,
really?
I'm scared. But I really want to go, but I'm just...
Why
I don't know. Something hasn't yet. Like, I haven't had a eureka moment yet to feel like, I'm confident enough to go.
Yeah.
If I went, I feel like I need to go with a group of people. I couldn't just
That's
go
true.
alone.
Yeah.
I think it's the first like experience of being in Africa, a complete different environment.
Yeah.
I would love to go, but I'm just really nervous.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Like it can be a bit of a like shock to your system going there, because it is different to here, right? Like life is different.
Yeah. The laws,
attitudes.
the rules.
Yeah, laws are different. Attitudes are different. So I do get what you're saying. Like I remember like when the wife and I went to Nigeria last year, everybody was like worried. Oh, you make sure you get security and all that. To be fair, the group that we were in with had security, because it was quite a dangerous time.
Wow.
So yeah, but I mean, aside from that, generally, I think it was all right.
You haven't helped. I'm not going.
No, you know what? I want to go back every year. That's the truth. No,
nice.
For real. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So okay, cool. And whereabouts? What were you? Obviously, you moved to the UK. Was it like London straight away that you came to?
I actually moved to Hackney.
Okay.
So I actually lived in Hackney, and then we moved because it was quite still rough during them times, like gunshots, everything like that. So then moved to Dagenham.
Okay.
That was racist at the time.
Dagenham?
Yeah. It was
That's
really
so strange.
I know it's a bit political here, but it was very much racist at that time.
Yeah.
And then after that, we got burgled, and my mum was like, "Nah, we're moving."
Yeah.
So then I grew up in a estate in Gascoigne. Lived there for like 14 years. I've moved now.
Gascoigne, where's that? What estate? That sounds...
Barking, Gascoigne.
That's in Barking. Dagenham's not that far from Barking.
No, not at all. It's the same borough, Barking and Dagenham.
Yeah.
So I grew up in the same estate as Plot Paper.
Okay, for real?
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in that area then?
It's rough.
Yeah.
I think,
Moved from a rough, burgled area to even
another rough area.
Yeah.
But I felt like that was more community because everyone's kind of in the same boat. I know it sounds quite bad, but everyone's kind of in the same boat, just grafting, just kind of like, just getting by kind of vibe. But also there was just so much talent within our borough. Hence why I kind of went on and started off my dance platform after. But like there was so many talented people, but in terms of like community wise, it felt more like a community. Like you knew your neighbours, if that makes sense. Like you knew everyone on the estate. You could be out and your family would be like, that's fine. Like you can just be out with.
I know what you're saying. Like even though it's a ghetto, it's strange for people to understand it, but it's not as bad. If you're not involved in it, you're okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Speaking,
perfectly said.
Yeah, that's just how it is, right? Like if you're involved in it, of course you're gonna hear what the crime is, but if you're not involved in it, generally speaking, not much happens to innocent people. Yeah, generally speaking. Wow. Yeah. Okay, so barking sides. Nice. And did you go to school in the area too?
I did, primary, secondary, through to sixth form.
Cool. What was school like for you? Were you like one of those people that like love school, like studying and stuff like that?
Yeah, like I was really sporty. So I was very much like, rounders team, netball team, and then I was in the volleyball team. Yeah. Through that, we got scouted. A few members from our school started playing for West Ham girls. Then we played for London Lynx. So I was very much like, in the volleyball scene. Yeah. But also at the same time, I was running a dance platform. So I started running a dance platform.
When did you start running that?
Literally when I was 14, I started teaching dance. So yeah, I was still in school. So literally, people in my estate, I was like, hey, I want to start a dance club. Like I really want to make it happen. And my older sister was kind of like, let's help like kind of kickstart that. So she was my biggest inspiration, kind of really making it happen. And then because we were kind of brought up in the Salvation Army church in Barking, they were like, we will support you. Like, what you've got, the vision is amazing. You want to help young people. You just want to teach them dance. You want to give them opportunities. Yeah. I was young myself. I felt like there wasn't enough. We're just playing outside more time. We're like, there's more to life, guys. There's more to life. So that's why I kind of started. So while I was still in school, I was very much sporty, but also, teaching dance and basically running a dance platform.
From 14, that's crazy.
Literally,
That's wild.
Literally.
Was anybody else in your family like that, like business-wise, like, or was you like one of the first people coming out from that?
If I'm being completely honest, I think I was like one of the first, to be honest. Like my family supported like all the way. Like my older sister now teaches for, not just for me, but like, for the platform. Yeah. My younger sister is our teachers as well. Okay. So we all it's basically now a family business, to be honest.
Oh, really?
So we all, teach.
That is dope. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I definitely want to talk a bit more about that because actually I had it on a list of my questions. Did you, because obviously you were doing that, did you then did you still decide to go to uni or?
I did, yeah.
You still went to uni, okay.
Yeah, I studied at the University of Hertfordshire. Okay. And I did events. And through that, that's kind of where my passion grew as well for events and being able to plan events, work at events. That was kind of like, I don't know why, but at the time it was like, this is what I want to do. I want to go and get a degree in the events industry.
Okay, that's interesting. What was the first thing that you kind of did after like uni? Like,
I actually started working for a company and my role within that was events. Okay. But then I started a side hustle.
Another one?
Yeah, okay. So that was my job. Yeah. Working in events. I was an event manager. And then after that, I was still obviously teaching dance at the same time, doing that. But then I started a side hustle. This was like the main hustle at the time, which was working for Secret Cinema. Okay. So I was doing that as well. Obviously,
working for Secret Cinema.
Yeah. Okay. So I basically got a contract and I worked with them for a couple of months. Yeah. Have periods of shows. Yeah. So that's what I was working at the time. Which
what was that? What did that involve?
So at the time I was working for Stranger Things at the time.
Okay.
So it's like an immersive experience.
I remember that secret cinema. I feel like I saw that on O2 Priority or something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It was, to be fair, it was actually really good. And because we had to basically create a world, so when people come in, they feel like they're actually in America, they actually feel like they're in Stranger Things. Okay. So I was speaking like an American accent, everything. Like, we all got trained. Mad. It was so tapped. We all got trained to speak like an American accent, like you're coming into a new world. So I did that, signed a contract, and I worked with them for a little bit as well. So I was very much still doing events and doing dance at the same time.
Okay, so dance, events, and then you were doing the secret cinema. That's mad. Wow, you were doing it. Going back to uni, what was uni like? Like, you were still doing the dance business? Okay.
Yeah.
So did that mean you had to come back to East London?
I was coming back every Friday.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How did you manage that?
I don't know. You know, like you're just in it. You're just doing it. I actually don't know how I was doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was studying full time. And then my first, second, and actually third year, I also had basically like a term job. So I was working at JD Sports.
Okay.
So I did that as well.
Cool.
So yeah, but I only worked 8 hours, which was literally like 1 day a week. Like I didn't really, bad, like I could cope. But obviously your timetable is so different at uni. So some days it's a bit more intense, some days it's not. But every Friday I'd come back down to London and teach dance.
Mad.
So I didn't actually get the proper like uni experience. I was working more than anything.
You felt like you didn't. No. Did you prefer to do that, to hustle and work rather than, you know, the full uni going out every Monday to Friday?
I did. That's probably why I did it for so long.
Yeah.
I think I did
you
prefer it.
Just to,
I was just like, I don't mind like working.
It'd be good to understand the motivation. Do you know like why you think that you prefer to just?
No, I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm just, it's not even the right word. Not that I prefer not to be lazy, but I think I just felt like I want to be productive.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
That is the right word. You know what? I therefore hear you on that, because there are days I feel like it's really tough for me to just lie down in the house and do nothing.
You feel lost sometimes, like, wait.
Yeah. I'm always thinking I should be doing something. That's just, it's a bit, I don't want to say it's strange. I guess maybe that's why we're wired to doing business, because we're just non-stop. We need to just be doing something.
I mean, there must have been some form of motivation. I probably was saving for something, to be fair. To be fair, I did have a car second year of uni.
Okay.
So
that's
probably
good.
just kind of just paying bills, really. Probably just the fear of maybe not having money to like cope with like the uni expenses and stuff like that. So that's probably, to be fair, probably maybe one of the reasons why I was kind of like, let me make sure I'm not in like crazy debt. Let me just make sure that I've, you know, got enough money just in case my car could break down.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of what it was, to be honest.
Do you feel like, you know, growing up in a certain environment will make you want for more a little bit? You feel like there might have been an element of that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think, one, kind of knowing that I've come from a low income background, family from a rough estate, I think there's that kind of like element, like kind of like I want to get out of this. Yeah. I want to be a bit more.
Yeah. It's crazy that, you know, because it's like so many people have a perception that like people in those areas just want to stay there. They don't want to stay.
No.
They want to get out. We trying to get out. You know what I mean?
We do.
We trying to get out, and we'll work hard to get out. Like we'll fight tooth and nail to get out. So, right, okay. So you did your events management, and then at what point did like content creation and stuff like that come in?
This was basically during lockdown for me, to be fair, because I actually kind of started my Save With Elvs YouTube. I think it was like late 2018, 2019, but I didn't take it seriously. It was just there. Like I didn't take the YouTube channel seriously at all. Like it's dry. And then I was like, oh wow, like we've hit a hard time. Like everyone's talking about money. And I was like, oh, but when I was at uni, actually, I was very much like on it with my finances.
Yeah.
And then that's what made me realise there was actually certain things that I was doing that could potentially help other people, because I was saving money at university as well. So I thought, oh, maybe this might be a nice way to kind of tie it in and help the next gen of students. That's initially kind of how it started. And then after it kind of broadened because we went through lockdown. And I was like, there's other ways that people can actually make money that people don't actually know about. And that's kind of why I started sharing like, oh guys, you know, I use receipt apps. Like, and you know, I make money from receipts. Like I make money from walking. I do all these different things that I felt like people might not have known about. So I think lockdown was a massive push, and I wasn't living with my family and to my parents. I was with my older sister, so we moved out separately. So the event industry kind of went downhill as well
because of COVID.
Yeah, like all the clients just
obviously
dropped off. No one's doing events. Nothing,
right? Yeah.
So and even like moving online was like it wasn't ideal for a lot of like you know that industry in particular. So that's kind of when I was like, oh, I really want to help people. Like I really want to help them figure out maybe ways that they can save.
Yeah.
Even if it is just going to a supermarket, how can they save when they go to the supermarket? So that's kind of where the motivation kind of like kicked in.
Okay.
But like I said, the YouTube channel was already there, but it was just dry. There was nothing on there. But yeah. And then just kind of being around that space and realizing some people that you're helping that motivates you more.
Yeah.
And then actually realizing, wait, there's a whole community out here. Like everyone's like helping each other.
Yeah, mad. Yeah. It's sick. It's sick. That's dope. Do you remember your first piece of content that you put out there on? I guess on were you were more focused on Instagram or TikTok?
I think I think my first video might have been how to save money on school uniform.
Okay, that's an interesting one. Okay, talk me through that. I didn't know that you could save money on that.
Yeah, so I was kind of sharing tips on how people can save money on their school uniforms. So I was like saying, parents, like you can go and buy a plain blazer and then you can buy your school logo separately and just like iron it on or stitch it on. Literally. Okay. So I was like, that's a great way. Like,
that's actually money. Smart.
Yeah, because your school blazer will probably cost you like £25, £30. You can literally go Sainsbury's, get a plain blazer, go to the school shop, get yourself like a £6 badge and then just put it on yourself.
That is
very, so I think that was my first basic YouTube video, I think, of me saying, hey parents, it's like 7 ways of how you can save money on school uniform, or like look at you know, supermarket brands and stuff like that instead of going directly to school shops. Yeah.
That's epic. That was epic. And you got the bug like right after that, right?
From there I was like, oh, maybe I'll do another video. And then I was like, oh, you know, people who work for the NHS, this is how you guys can save money on your, like, your coffees, or these are the certain places where you guys can like get your discounts if it's Bella Italia, all these places. And I think that was the actually most watched video, and I don't actually like that video. I look horrible.
Yeah, the videos that you don't like are the ones that always do for some reason. Why is this doing well? Like I don't want to do this content. Oh my god. How do you find content creation? You know, like, you know, because you do a few day in the lives as well. You've been how are you finding that?
Do you know what? I actually found it quite hard to balance content creation with my full-time job.
Okay.
So
were you still you still had as an events manager during COVID? Were they making you do other stuff though?
So it basically kind of went online and some of the stuff. So we had less clients, which kind of meant less planning for like planning events for clients, but we still were working.
Okay.
But it was very dry. Okay. So last year actually, after I went from event manager, I actually got another basically full-time job working in TV and film.
Okay.
So that's where I built my connections doing TV and film. But still doing that, I was still doing side hustles on the side.
Yeah.
And then my other full-time job, which I ended up getting, which I recently resigned from, was events and community manager, which was great, but it was just intense because I couldn't now manage content creation because it kind of went quiet in terms of like brand partnerships and stuff. It went quiet and I was like, do you know, I'm just going to go back and get a full-time job. That's what I'm going to do because, you know, let me just be safe.
Yeah.
And then weirdly enough, it started to build up more after that. And I was like,
what's going on?
I don't know if I can like balance both. I was like, I love my full-time job and I love what I'm doing. And I love, you know, the essence of what I'm doing and helping the community and planning events, which is what I studied. But then the content creation on the side was kind of overweighing, and actually I was getting paid more doing content creation. That was the craziest thing of it all. I thought, wait, how am I getting paid more doing that? To the point where I started booking off leave to go and do campaigns. And I was like, I don't know, like this is not ideal, you know? So one of the campaigns that I did was for with Jay, because we both I went to uni and he didn't, and we basically were put in a room and we had to kind of like play a game basically for a campaign. And I remember doing that campaign, I was just thinking to myself, if I was not able to book leave, I would have missed out on a great opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, and I found it quite hard to be able to just keep balancing both. So actually I left my full-time job in in October, actually.
Okay. Just recently?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So just to actually focus on my content creation, which is actually crazy. And
That's
I know
crazy.
it's a big leap, and
you
know, African parents won't be happy about that. But but I was like, you know, believe, like trust me, believe, because people are here, you know, on social media making crazy money off of one post. Like there's people that are not far from reach who are literally earning 15K for one post around you. And it's like, anyone can do it.
That's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm like,
for one post. Can you imagine?
Crazy.
That's somebody. Wow. Imagine you got 2-3 yearly salary done. All right, let me just chill for the rest of it.
You're living. You're laughing.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's kind of the aim in terms of like, you know, really putting in the work. So, you know, you kind of replace your full-time income.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned that you worked with a few brands, right? Talk us through how those happened, how they came about, and how you were feeling at the time as well.
So some of the brands actually just reach out to you directly. Like they will Instagram you, they'll DM you, hey, would you like to, you know, hear more about the campaign we've got coming up and stuff like that. When I first started out, actually, I had no clue. Like I didn't know how much you should be charging.
Yeah.
I would say yes to like a gifted thing. I would say, so the thing is, it's not always about the money, but I would literally say yes to like a gifted thing. I would say yes to like a £50 for a post. I had no idea how much to charge for social media posts. Yeah. And then it was like, you know, can you post on TikTok as well as Insta? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm working with a brand. Who cares? Let's do it. And then later on down the line, as you know, I started getting picked up with more jobs. I was like, oh wait, but how come this brand's offering me way more than that? What that person was offering me? Wait, hold on. Why are they paying me £200 for a post and you pay me 50? What's going on? And then eventually down the line, through doing my content creation, kind of being as consistent as I could, I was at the time-ish. I basically got approached by an agency to sign me, basically, which I did. And through them, they actually challenge everything. And that's the best part of it, because I'm like, wow, actually, I missed out. And not saying it's like, I'm missing. It was the experience that matters, but I also did miss out on the fact that I could have been charging a lot more,
charging a bit more,
or not actually knowing that actually, Elvie, you know, you could charge for your Instagram frames. You can charge if you want them to repost it on certain places. You can charge for exclusivity. Like you could charge for all these things, and I had no idea. And it's like, through being with agencies, they're like, yeah, Elvie will do this for you, but it will be this amount. And it's either they say yes or no, or if they really want you, they'll pay you for it. So yeah, I think just also being like wary, because some brands are dodgy, basically. They're scams. They'll be like, you know, buy something, buy a jewelry off of us and you'll get a discount code or something, and you got to pay for delivery. Like those kind of stuff, it's a big no-no.
That's terrible, isn't it? Right?
It's so bad, and people have like fallen for that. Or
I've heard it was really bad.
Yeah, and it's like, you just got to be careful, because I think they know like this is how you can kind of like reach out to people. But now I've just got an email that people just email, and the agent pick it up, and you know, you can kind of suss it out that way. But also, if I really want to work with someone, for example, I really like a certain brand, I might tell them, can you reach out to them, please? Because I really have this idea, and I think it would be great if we could collab with them on that. So
Love
yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
And you had a big announcement today. What was the announcement?
I am officially an LG ambassador.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. LG ambassador. Okay, so how did that happen? And what is an LG ambassador?
So LG have actually introduced like a new platform, basically called LG Hustle Hub. So they basically have a massive community group which is made up of people who are side hustlers, small businesses, but also experts who are there to kind of help you guys navigate through your side hustle, or whether you have a side hustle, you want it to become your full-time job, something like what I've done. So they basically want to encourage the community base to come together, support each other. And basically I'm one of the, I guess like the face, alongside other people who are there to kind of help spread the word about a side hustle community, but also, you know, the equipment they have in place to help side hustles kind of like be more efficient. So they've got an LG laptop, which is like crazy, LG Gram laptop, which is like super lightweight, that you can take anywhere with you. And you know, you kind of get your work done with it. So your emails, your content creation, you can just do everything on the go. So they're really like encouraging people who have side hustles and want to actually maybe elevate that a bit more. So
that's it. That's really dope. Well done. Congratulations. And you know, I love hearing stuff like that. And it sounds like they're definitely going to be building like a community of like-minded people. I feel like nowadays people are realizing that one income is not enough. You have to have a few,
especially this day and age. 100%,
exactly.
100%.
Cost of living, right? I wanted to know, like, do you have any tips for like creating viral content? Because you mentioned that you made a few viral content. So do you have any like tips for like listeners in terms of what you think is like not secret sauce, but what you think can give you the likelihood that you can, create some viral? Obviously, there's no guarantees in life, right?
There isn't.
But what things could somebody do to make sure, okay, cool, give themselves the best chance to, get their content out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Like, I think everyone's always blaming it on like the algorithm.
Yeah.
The algorithm doesn't like me. But I think it's whether people are going to take something away from it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're creating content that actually is valuable, people will tend to be like, oh, wow, I didn't know about that. And actually want to go and save it and go and actually search it up. So I think if you wanted to start off by kind of creating content, if it's something valuable, people will take that away. But also on the other end, it's like if you're doing something that's more entertaining, because it doesn't have to be a niche within what I'm doing in money saving or side hustles or dance, but it could be something that's actually just entertaining and people love that. They just love being entertained. They think, oh, that's really funny. Or let me see what they're bringing out next time.
Yeah.
But I'll probably say if you are starting out doing your content, just kind of figuring out what you enjoy talking about or what you enjoy doing, that can kind of help like kickstart. And then as you're going, you actually learn and you will probably start to figure out like what works for your community and maybe what they're not feeling.
Yeah.
So
they'll tell you, right?
Yeah,
they will like it.
The community, the TikTok community, the social media community, they'll tell you we don't like that. So I'll probably say, just kind of create your content and kind of just see where it goes. And I know people will say be consistent, but it actually only takes one post for it to go.
That's true.
Viral.
That's true. What do you think about the consistency thing? What's your take on it? I don't know where I am on it.
I am not consistent. I am genuinely so busy.
You don't think you're consistent?
No.
But you're still here. So isn't that kind of a form of consistency?
Do you know what? Maybe in my mind, I'm thinking consistent.
No, I was thinking consistent weekly, but then you are still creating content. You haven't just fallen off the face of the earth, right?
I think, I'll probably say in terms of like the consistency of posting every day, that is not me.
Yeah.
That is not me. I can't do it. I just genuinely can't do it.
Yeah.
But I have had, like right now on my phone, I've got about 400 drafts. Like I literally show you, I've got 400 drafts on my TikTok that are just not leaving.
400 drafts? Seriously?
I've got 400 drafts.
Wait, hold on. What, of recordings?
That
you've done?
That I've done.
What? Okay, that's crazy.
That I've done.
444. Yeah. When did you have the time to do all of this?
That's the thing. Sometimes I'll just batch create. I'm like, you know what? I'm in the mood to create content today. So I would literally just create lots of different content, change my outfits, different songs, dance to certain things.
Wow.
And then later on, I'll put text over it and then post it. But also because I've now started doing longer videos in terms of vlogs.
Yeah.
I think that's what takes majority of my time. Because I'm like, welcome to Day Life of a Side Hustler. And I've got so many clips that I've got to put together.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I'm in it, I don't record certain things. And I'm like, I don't want to post it now. I didn't catch that bit.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's when I feel like I'm not being consistent enough because I'm actually my own worst enemy. I'm like, oh, but I didn't do this. Oh, but, but I'm doing that. I haven't got time to do it. And I think you're right. I haven't fallen off the face of the earth, but I feel like I could be a bit more like consistent, showing up a bit more. Because sometimes people will be like, oh, where's she gone? She hasn't posted for a week.
Yeah.
And I'll come back the week after I'm posting 3 videos a day. And it's like, your audience might be like, I don't know.
It works for some though. I think there are some people like that works for, and they don't have to post like once a week. A bit more sporadic. But 400 pieces, that's a mad backlog though. Wow. You have like content, you have more content for at least another year. Of content. Oh, that's crazy. Wow, that is crazy. That is crazy. So you gave a bit of an insight into like the difficulties, because I feel like a lot of people don't appreciate how much effort goes into content creation. They see,
100%.
oh yeah, I could do that. We know how hard it is.
Yeah.
It's super, super, super difficult. Can you give us a bit of an insight into what that's like for you? You gave us a little bit, and like how long it takes you, and like how you're overcoming some of those challenges.
Yeah. So depending on what the brand brief is, if it's a simple dance video, I'll just say, I'm doing a dance video. I'll probably send them a song and say, this is what I plan to do or whatever it is. And once they approve it, it's just easy for me to just create the content and make it. Sometimes it's more wordy, so I would actually write a script, genuinely write the script, because I don't want to record anything and then they're like, we don't like it, or can you change these certain words? I'd rather just, that's kind of the one way I overcome it, writing a script and then let the brand actually approve it, and then I'll film, and they can't change it after that. I'm like, well, it's done now. And
it's written in the contract.
It's written now, it's done. And one other thing that you just mentioned, literally contract. It's when I first started, that stuff didn't really exist. Like, I didn't know, I was just accepting anything. I didn't know that actually there's some form of like rules to what you're doing, or just being covered and protected as well. Because it's a job that you're doing. And once you're starting to get paid to do content creation, brands are paying you like £300, £400, £600 for a post. Actually, it's a job now. So having a contract in place really does help to kind of make sure that you're both, aligning with the end goal. So that's definitely one other way I've overcome, is actually understanding my contract. And if I don't get it, I'll ask my agent, I don't get it. And then they're like, all right, let's go and check. And, one other thing that I realized from doing content creation is definitely the amount of amendments that the brands might ask you to do. Just cap it.
Really? I remember you did a post on TikTok about that, right?
Yeah,
like
just
they
cap
just
it.
kept on asking you for some.
Change this, change that, change that. Just cap it. Just say you'll get to, and if you want more, we'll charge you more.
Yeah.
Literally, that's it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm guessing
try it next time. Yeah.
I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
Luckily, no brands I've gone to, they're okay. I've only had one rogue brand, and I'm not gonna say their name. I'm never gonna work with them again.
Yeah.
Have you I was going to say, have you had any issues? And I do know you've had an issue, one, because you put it on TikTok about payment, sometimes late payment. Right?
Yeah.
Brands, sometimes they can be a bit guilty
100%
as well.
I think, it's hard. It's like a lot of brands sometimes are new companies that will join the scene and like, I want to work with a creator, but they might not necessarily know that by then I don't know, they might not know like the ins and outs, or it's kind of just new for them. They just think that you just reach out. They're not too sure what the steps are. And by then you might be so much more experienced and actually understand it a bit more than them. And so you can kind of like help shape it and kind of say like, hey, if you want this is how much it's going to cost. This how many, blah, blah, and this is when I expect the payment or whatever it is. So one experience that I've had before, which actually traumatized me, is I create content for a brand and then they turned around and basically said, oh, like, we don't actually need it anymore. Like, we just, we're not doing this campaign anymore.
What?
And I was like, wait, what? I recorded, edited, sent it over, and now you guys don't want to do the campaign, or it's nothing against you, it's just that we don't want to do it anymore. We're not. And I'm like, from there I was like so traumatized, and I was like, it's really important as well, if you can, to get your deposit paid, if you can. Some brands might say,
you asked for a deposit?
Like after that, after that, like, we'll pay, like, for example, they'll say we'll pay a partial of scope A, depending how long your project is. Of scope A, we'll pay a percentage of that. Upon delivery, you get this. Yeah. Sometimes it's the way forward. Not everyone will do it, but some brands will.
You think it's something you should do to protect yourself?
I think so, because you do all that work. It's a job.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's hours. We're talking hours, like half a day.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, no,
Yeah, and that really actually traumatized me. Like, genuinely, I was like, I can't believe I did that. I recorded. I probably even did my hair. And then they're like, oh, by the way, we don't want it anymore. It's nothing against you, but we don't want to do the campaign anymore. So that really traumatized me. And I was like, after that, can we please make sure I at least get paid like a deposit? It doesn't work with all brands. Some brands are just like, oh no, like, once you get it done, like, you sign the contract, they'll just pay you everything anyway. But it's just kind of being like, being aware that it's not going to be a plain sailing with everyone. It's not, is it? But just, if you can, if it's written, it's better. But just, kind of making sure there's an agreement in place of when you should get paid. And what happens if they don't pay you on time. You might have a little leeway, but if not, say, hey, after every day, we're going to charge you £250 for everything that is late or something like that.
Because they definitely like rush you to get their stuff.
Oh, 100%.
Right? That's the funny thing, right? They'll rush you
tomorrow.
When it comes to paying. They ain't in a rush to pay. I found out they're not in a rush to pay, but they're in a rush to get the content.
100%.
They're not serious. They're actually not serious. Cool. No, thank you so much for those tips. I think that they will definitely help like a lot of listeners. I remember when I went into it, I didn't know anything of what I was doing, contracts, how much should I charge, none of that sort of stuff. So it's like, I feel like it's a bit of a minefield. And I feel like some brands, they're very experienced and they don't also educate the creators, which I think is quite sad, from their perspective. I know they're trying to get the cheapest as possible because it's a business, but I feel like they should also, try and teach new creators. Okay, this is how you do things, make sure you have a contract, But
100%.
Some of them are cowboys, to be honest, right? If they'll get the lowest price. If they can pay you less than minimum wage, they'll do it.
They'll do it.
Like it's absolutely ridiculous. So you mentioned that you obviously have your dance side hustle, content creation as well.
Yeah.
What other stuff do you do as well?
Oh gosh,
this is one of several side, income streams. So want to know the other ones? Yeah, of course we got bare time.
So babysitting.
Okay.
I still kind of do that sometimes actually, and I really enjoy it. Also film runner. So I would work on a film set or a short film set. From using receipt apps, doing stage management, production assistant. I do stuff like that.
Is that all in that film section, film part, or just different roles?
Different roles, different roles. Sometimes it's even, just teaching dance for other workshops or even doing talks or hosting. What else?
How many streams is this? Is this
it's like loads, isn't it?
Is it 7, 8?
More.
More?
It's more, yeah.
Like what are we talking, like 12 or?
Yeah, probably I'll probably say even more than 12. Yeah.
More than 12?
Yeah. So this is the importance of literally networking with people.
Yeah.
Because every industry I've been in, they're able to give me other jobs through that.
Okay.
So whether it's through dance, I toured with Nadia Rose for a few years.
Wow.
So I was literally performing at Wireless Festival, Leeds. And even though the concrete is dance, but I'll get paid for other additional jobs within that branches off. So that's why the list just always grows. So
talk me through how you did that. Like as an example, like how you mentioned, okay, obviously you started with dance and then you expanded into the other ones through networking. Talk to us about how you did that.
Yeah, so was running my dance school, and then through that, one of the teachers that I was working with, she found an opportunity for us to basically work for an artist, which was like amazing. I couldn't actually do that day of the music video that went on, which actually done really well. And then after that, they had other opportunities. They really liked that group of people and they were like, we really like these dancers. Let's bring them on board to do other stuff. And because I have a good relationship with this person, they were like, come on board on this. So I did. And basically the rest is history from that. I literally started to tour, literally performed out at festivals. I then went off and did a Barclays advert, so that branched off another thing. So I was doing literally on TV. And then through there, we kind of started to, me and my team anyway, we started to kind of like branch out to doing other things, which meant like doing workshops or being a judge at a competition. Or being a chaperone. Sometimes other dance schools need you to look after their kids. And if you've got the right qualification, you've got DBS, you've got safeguarding, it's easy for you to just take up that job and do it, which I have done. And even editing music. So sometimes other dance schools will approach you and say, hey, we need a song mixed and we heard your mix at that competition. It sounded really good. Can you guys mix our songs? And then we're like, cool, we'll charge you for that. So it just kind of like branches off and it's like, it's crazy. And then, again, with like TV and film, just kind of the network I've had through that. They then invite you to do other things and they then invite you to do other jobs. And, we've recommended this person, Elvire's really good for this and I think she'll be great for that. So then that happens and then you start doing different job roles within that as well. Same industry, but you start doing different jobs.
Wow.
And the same with events as well. Obviously I plan events, but then I started getting different roles, which was like production assistant, actually stage management. So I would be like behind the stage with the, with the, what's the thing called? Like the intercom thing, you talk and stuff. And so that was another job run. I'm like, but I came from dance. How am I like, how's that navigating into this and how's that navigating into that? So you kind of just start to kind of branch out and people start recommending you for jobs or saying, oh, she was great at that. And it's the same kind of with our content creation. It's like, Atto's great at what he does, but he has a podcast and now we want him to go and host our TV show. It's like, that's actually different revenue and different job path as well. So that's kind of how I grew my network and like my jobs as well.
That's
just
crazy.
Through that, yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, so actually there's lots of different like income streams. Obviously I can't do all of them all at the same time.
Yeah.
But during the years I'll be like, yeah, actually I can do that. Actually I can do that. Actually, I might charge you for that. So yeah.
How do you manage that? Like, actually, let me ask a different question. Which ones are ongoing throughout the year, and which ones do you like decide? Okay, I'll do it in Jan. I'll do it the other one in August.
Running a business, running my dance with. That's literally
throughout the year. Yeah.
Throughout the year. And then when I have like summer term times, that's when I was actually doing like the more of the touring and obviously festivals. That's when it's banging. That's
when it's popping.
Yeah. And then also because that's the time of events, like the borough would approach me to do, or they'll commission me or the team I'm working with to help support their events. Sometimes through that I'll get commissioned to outsource dancers that they want, and then I would then say, hey, here are 10 dancers that we found that could do your show, get commission off of that. So it's like some things I just kind of come and go. TV and film is not every day. I can literally pick up a job whenever. So last year I did the jungle and I worked on that. That was like 2 days. And then that's it. Babysitting mainly was after my shifts at work. So my full-time job. When I had finished my shift at 6, I would then start babysitting at like 7:30 till a certain time.
Mad.
Yeah. So
what's a working day? I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
Oh, boy. What is it? So before I left my full-time job in October, my working day was literally Monday to Friday. I was working 10 till 6. But on the Friday, I would leave a little bit earlier because I'd run my dance school. So I was always working, but I had to leave earlier so I can go run my dance school. Because I think people just think I get booked to teach and I actually run the dance school. So I need to be there to open up, sign the kids and everything. So that would finish till about 8:30. So some days in the week or like on Tuesday, I would do babysitting. So when I literally finished my job, I'd go and babysit for the family. And weekends, which should have been my rest days, will kind of be more, again, workshops or working at an event or selling merch for another company. So I'd done some stuff with like the Barbican and I would be there selling merch and stuff. Mad. So it's just like, every time it's different all the time. Literally no day's the same.
Wow. It almost sounds like 10 to 10. Almost.
It's not normal actually, to be honest. It's not normal, but
it sounds like you love it though.
Sometimes I get burnt out. Like I genuinely
I was going to ask you that. Like how do you, the burnout part, like how you navigate in that?
I find it really hard to say no sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think I kind of had to learn that over my time to say, actually, Elvie, it's okay to say no. Just say you can't do it. Like, because I don't really know how best to deal with my burnout. But when I am at the peak of like, I'm so tired, I won't do anything. I'll sleep.
Yeah.
Or maybe I might just say, oh, can you go and teach there instead? So even with content creation, like I get burnt out with that as well because I'm trying to meet all these deadlines for this person or just content for my own platform to the point where I actually won't post. I won't do anything. I would literally just ghost. I'll just say, right, I'm taking this whole week to just rest. And I don't know if that's the most logical thing to do, but I feel like when my body's just like, it's shutting down.
Yeah.
It's shutting down. I've had previous years, I got burnt out so much. I was exhausted. I was suffering from exhaustion. I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're young as well.
I know. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing to myself?
Yeah.
I didn't know exhaustion was a thing. So I was like, what? I'm on a drip? I was like, what is this? I was like, I had no idea.
Drip? Okay,
yeah.
That was real bad.
Yeah,
wow.
I didn't know exhaustion was a thing. I thought like you just rest and it will go away. But it was like, no, like you have no energy to do anything, girl. Like you need to rest. You actually need to listen to your body.
Yeah.
You need to eat right. And you need to basically be hydrated. Sometimes, you're just working so hard, you don't think about, not that you don't think about eating, but you don't eat or you don't drink when you're supposed to.
Yeah.
So then it catches up.
Yeah. Why do you work so hard? I mean,
honestly,
there's no dispute that you're a hard worker. Like you are a superhuman, right? But why? Like what do you think is your why as to why like you're going so hard?
Do you know
to the
what?
point of like, that.
I think because I would like to purchase my house one day.
Okay.
Yeah, council flats, great. You got your right to buy. Like, actually purchase it will be like the dream.
Okay.
But also just being able to kind of enjoy life because I want to be able to say this side hustle money has actually like funded my holiday, or like I didn't really want to keep dipping into my actual salary. I kind of want to be able to like use my side hustle money to do other things or to reinvest in myself.
Yeah.
That's mainly it. And then also, I was really proud of myself last year. I bought the car that I wanted.
Yeah.
To be fair, I got robbed as well. But that's not
Wait,
the point.
hold on, what?
That's not the point.
Car got robbed?
I got robbed as well. Yeah.
You got it back on insurance though, right?
That is actually such a complicated story. But
oh my gosh.
it got robbed off my drive, but obviously it was a start car. So I was really proud of myself. Had a really nice car.
Is it the keyless types? They're easy to.
Yeah. I woke up one day and it was gone.
On the drive?
Yeah.
What's wrong with these people?
I know. I woke up and it was gone. So it took me a while to kind of save up, I guess, to get... Yeah, like, you know, you work hard, like, especially like you said, like, I'm working so hard to get what I want, and then someone just stole it. But then what was hard was that the insurance, because it was on finance when I got it, the insurance paid off my car finance, but I had to top up the rest to make sure it was all covered. So that from then I was like, I'm gonna buy it outright, so it's mine. If that ever happens, God forbid, touch wood again, like, it's mine. So so I worked really, really hard to make sure actually I'm not going to get a car on PCP again, and I'm gonna buy it outright, which I did. But when I've done that now, I've just made sure this time it's way more protected. Wheel lock, the pouch, everything. Not saying that people still can't steal it, but at least I've known.
You got camera and all of that.
I don't have camera. No,
Get
I should.
maybe.
To be fair, luckily my neighbours, they're the ones when it got stolen, they had the camera, and that's how I was able to submit it to the police. Cool. But yeah, I should really get one. Yeah. But I just kind of made sure that
it's worth it, right? Yeah. Just in case, because like, to be fair, I don't have a dash cam, so I'm speaking like I own one. But I'm imagining, like, because I know some of them, or track or something, and imagine some of them you can even remotely, I'm sure, see like where things are.
So if I've got Apple,
the Apple tag thing.
Yeah, I've got that. I don't.
That's even better.
I don't know how far it goes before it disconnects. I have no idea how it works.
I think far, because I remember like my AirPods. I thought I left them in North London. Like, you can tell, it knows.
Oh,
yeah.
It's quite far. Oh, great. Oh, okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. So if I left them now, like where I live in Southeast, it will say that I've left them behind, or you left them here in this location. This is what I've seen. So
okay, great. So at least I've got that. Yeah. But yeah, I guess it's just I'm just working hard because I want to be able to, I guess, have that freedom eventually to be able to kind of just do what I want in that aspect. So even like as of now, I can stand up and just go on holiday. Yeah. There's no one telling me, you need to book a holiday. Yeah. You need to tell work, nope, peace, I'm out. I can do whatever I want. So you've
even attained some of that freedom now, yeah?
Yeah, I enjoy it. Like, I literally enjoy it so much. I'm like, everything's kind of on my own terms. I can kind of do, you know? So obviously I was smart enough when I did leave work to make sure that I actually made sure I had 5 months worth of expenses saved. Okay. Didn't do 6. Made sure I had 5 because I was like, I want to be able to just kind of relax for a bit. But still kind of, I still had side hustles anyway. So I was kind of like, I'm still doing that. I'm still working. But at least everything's like back in my court. So, and I guess, also just saving up towards the house because you want to buy the property that you're in, you know, you have a nice asset. So I guess, that's my main drive as of right now. Yeah.
Fair enough. You know what, though? Even though I asked you that question, I think that it's the right way to look at things, to work harder in your 20s, achieve the goals you want, your freedom, whatever. And then when you get to your 30s, you can enjoy your life, 30s, 40s, 50s. Do you know what I mean? I wish I did what I did 10 years earlier. I wish I was going hard, you know, 10 years earlier. I wish my life might have been a bit different, or, you know, I feel like a lot of us, what happens is we don't take the risks when we're younger. We want to take them when we're older, when it's hard for us to take risks. Maybe we have a dependent, maybe we have a partner, maybe we have a mortgage. We can't take those risks and try and, you know, build up our skills and try different businesses. That's crazy. But for those people that do want to side hustles, what would you say? Because obviously I think that when this episode gets released, it's going to be 2023. So side hustle queen. Devin was a side hustle king. You're the side hustle queen.
Don't forget Jay as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jay. He's a side hustle prince. Jay came with some fire and side hustles too. Yeah. You three are killing it in that game. Honestly. So what would you? Can you give us 4 side hustles that people could kind of start straight away? Obviously, if they have to do a bit of learning, that's fine, because you can't just start without nothing. Where they can start seeing some income kind of almost immediately.
Probably say first one, probably be like affiliate marketing.
Okay.
So no matter what you buy, more time there's a link, whether it's a refer a friend, whether it's something that, I don't know, it could be, I don't know, shopping from like Curry's or your mobile phone or something like that. You probably have a refer a friend. So being able to kind of share your links with family and friends, if they're looking to potentially buy from the same customer, you could actually get something back in return, whether it's a £30, £50 Amazon voucher or something. So I'd probably say doing that, because there's so many links out there that you guys could be sharing with friends and family and start generating some income. Second thing, I'll probably say renting out your stuff.
Okay.
I don't think people realize that can actually make a bit of money, like from renting out their stuff, whether it's your driveway, whether it's equipment that you have at home. So if you have like equipment, I don't know, could be a camera, you can rent that stuff out. Or even your clothes. People are renting out their clothes and making like hundreds and thousands of pounds.
Really?
Yeah. If you guys like check out that buy rotation.
I never wore it once, twice.
Yeah, this is it. Literally rent it out.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised people are renting out their wedding dresses because they're like, oh, well, it's just sitting here. Let me just rent that out.
That's true.
So people are earning money from doing that. And I'll probably say another thing is probably just selling online. Genuinely, like declutter your room, your house, and sell it off. Like I remember listing something, what was it? It was like a candle. It was a candle. And I was like, oh, like maybe I should just throw it away. But then I listed it. It was like 4 of them though. I listed it for like £4 something. And someone bought it. And I was like, are you sure?
4 candles, really?
Yeah, but they were like kind of like small.
Candles.
Yeah, but someone was like, I want it. So you never know. Sorry, I need to cough. Sorry.
That's all right.
I'm still phlegmy, sorry. But yeah, like, you never know what people want to buy. So just renting stuff out, especially you don't have to go out and buy stuff in order to make and rent. It could be stuff you already have at home and just declutter that out and sell online. Another thing I'll probably say is this one could be more based on your passion, I guess. What's the best way of saying it? So, for example, with myself, my passion obviously is dance.
Yeah.
But finding ways that how you can monetize from your passion. So, for me, as mentioned, I teach dance. I can go teach different dance schools, but also you can go and perform for artists. You can feature music videos. You could teach the actual artist how to dance. Like, there's all these different avenues that you guys could be doing. So, I guess finding your passion and what you really enjoy doing, whether it's photography, whether it's cooking, whether it's baking or whatever it is, find your passion and see if you can monetize off your passion. Is that 3 or 4?
That's 4, I think.
Was it?
I think that's 4.
Sure?
Affiliate links, finding your passion. What was the third one?
Selling stuff. And then renting.
Renting, yeah. 4.
Yeah.
4. Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Love those.
I hope they're useful.
No, they are.
It's like everyone's so different. Like it's hard to kind of pinpoint like this is a side hustle you should start. Like it kind of depends on what you actually want to do. Like what do you enjoy doing? Yeah. Because the worst thing is working in a field that you don't enjoy it. Exactly. If you enjoy baking, you can make money off of baking. At least you enjoy it. It's not a chore. Yeah. So
I feel like you can monetize almost anything.
Anything. That's the scariest thing. That's the scariest. People can monetize off of anything. Even if it's something within yourself, a talent, a skill that you have, or appearance. Like people are paying to just be hand models, and brands are paying people just for their hand. Like, what's that?
Yeah, I literally had one of my friends actually. We a couple, I think it was like 5 episodes ago, maybe it might be 10 at this point. Yeah, she used to get paid for hand modeling. She was getting paid a lot of money.
Look at that. You see? Like it's
quite wild. Yeah.
Like, people can literally either make money off themselves, literally off their appearance or their skills or their talents. Like you just never know. So.
Yeah. I think it's just definitely, like you said, it's about finding what you enjoy. It seems like you're getting paid to live the life that you want to do.
Yeah.
And you're doing the things that you want to do and it's comfortable for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why you're gonna do good at it and you'll continue to grow in it because you've managed to get into an industry that you like and then find a way to monetize all avenues of it.
Really and network. Really. I'm telling you, networking's the way. Because you never know. The people that you know can refer you for other jobs.
Yeah.
And then that's how you keep. Yeah.
What tips do you have for networking, would you say? Then I guess.
Depending on the setting, but if it's an event, actually go and talk to everyone. Like, I know it sounds cringy, but just kind of saying what you do, because more time they're like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know you do that. And the next time they'll think of you for something else. They'll be like, oh, that guy runs a podcast. I think he'll be great to do this. So just actually talking to people. If you're at an event, a setting, just introduce yourself. Or if you know that person, you've seen them someone before, just say like, hey, I really like what you do. Like, not saying I'm a big fan, but I genuinely enjoy what you do. And I think like it's great.
Yeah.
And, you know, through there, just that connection. Or for me, when I was working in the film set, just actually getting to know everyone, because everyone's here for the same goal, to make sure this show, whatever it is produced. But you never know, whatever job they might be on next time, they might say, oh, I met that girl last time at that place and she was actually really cool. And I think she'd be great for this. So that, it's just, I think it's different because not everyone likes to talk. Some people are introverts. But if you genuinely put yourself out there, it will help.
It can, It's so weird. It's so weird because you say you're shy.
I am.
Elvie doesn't seem.
I am.
Shy.
I actually
Well,
am.
she says she's shy, but she does all of this stuff. So, I mean, if she's able to do it and she says she's shy, then I think a lot of us can do it. You know what's so funny though? I think even the most confident person will say that networking events are awkward. But it's like you said, at the end of the day, right? We're all humans at the end of the day, right? We're not gonna bite each other. Right? Like, if you just introduce yourself, hey, this is what I do, like you said. I feel like the icebreaker is gonna immediately go. People are not gonna be nasty.
100%. It's funny you said that. I was at an event. Actually, with Kia was at an event, and someone approached us like, "Do you guys want some sweets?" And we're like, no, I'm all right, thanks. And he was like, "Are you sure you don't want any Percy pigs?" And I was like, no. Like, we're all right. Next thing you know, like, what's your name? And then we're like, what a nice icebreaker. I'm always going to remember this person now approaching me about Percy pigs.
Very interesting. So he came, oh, sweets. Like, he didn't just want to say, you know.
Like, hi. He literally said, "Do you guys want some sweets?" And I was like, oh. Yeah. So, I guess, like, you just never know. Everyone's different. And you're right. Like, everyone's human. Yeah. Some might be horrible. Some people might genuinely be like, "Oh, thanks for approaching me," because like I was thinking about it, but I was too shy to.
Yeah.
So
it can be awkward. So wanted to talk about your dance business. Mm-hmm. Okay, so how is it now? So obviously you started it 10 years now, 10 years deep into it, right? Talk me through it.
Yeah, so when I started, it was just a community group. So basically an unconstituted group. Yeah. And the Salvation Army took it under their wing to kind of help me, like, because I was too young, to be honest, to be working with children and stuff. So they kind of took me under the wing to make sure I was trained properly, safeguarded, make sure I had the right chaperones in the room and everything. So they helped me basically kickstart it. So within the Salvation Army, I had its own entity. So I was actually still running the whole thing myself. But then as of October, so basically when I left my full-time job, I basically made my dance hustle my main hustle. Okay. So I changed the whole setup of the whole business, everything, made it into a limited. Like I said, me and my sisters, like, we're directors and alongside other people. So I just basically just changed the whole setting to make it independent. Yeah. So I was running it all that time, but it was under the wing of another major organization, a charity. And then now I just decided that actually I want to run it myself. And also it gives me more opportunities in terms of grants and stuff. And so 10 years deep, that is so scary to say. But I've been doing it for 10 years. But now it's my main hustle. So I actually put in a lot more time into it, you know, trying to see if we can branch out, you know, be in different areas and stuff like that. So but I really, really enjoy it. Like, during that time, I've seen like great opportunities come from it, from some of my kids doing like little campaigns, like for a book company that asked to work with us on something. And pushing our content more on social media. Before I was kind of like, I don't know, I was like in my own little bubble. I was just like, I didn't really want to post anything. Like, our page was there, but it wasn't like, I wasn't creating content, if that makes sense. I was just like, we got dance class today, yay. And that was it. But now it's like, actually, you know, these young people that are here, you know, let's put them out there a bit more. Let's give them opportunities, because everything was more internally. Now it's a bit more external. People are like, oh, they exist. They might think of us now for another thing. And just utilizing social media a bit more, like our YouTube actually. So I started that off as well for my dance page in October. I promise you there was nothing on there. There was nothing on there. Really? And then we started posting shorts and I was like, wait, what's going on? I was like, what's going on? And the subscribers were just coming. I was like, whoa. Like,
people love it, yeah.
I was like, people love dance content or something. Like, what's going on? So it just motivated me to be
missing
like,
it.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Like, this is actually so interesting. People love this stuff. So kind of putting them out a bit more on that side in terms of social media. But I just want to be able to give more opportunities now. Now that I'm running it, like, independently, it's more like all my energies into it now.
Yeah.
So
you do it Monday to Friday now?
Basically.
Wow,
obviously,
wow.
you know, you can pick like,
yeah, you can pick your
I
days,
can wake up at 12 o'clock. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey. But yeah, that's my main hustle. Just make sure like everything's set up properly, because now it's like you're on your own. So from, you know, your public liability insurance to everything, you're working with children. Like you need to make sure everything is prim and proper.
Wow.
Make sure everyone's protected. Everyone's like got the right qualification, DBS, safeguarding, everything, first aid, everything. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's mad. So where does the income from it come from? Does it come from the parents of the children or
subscription.
the parents of the children? So it's like a after school dance club.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Private.
Yeah.
Oh,
100%. So they
That's
audition every September, every January to be part of a crew.
Yeah.
So, and the reason I do is a crew is because we want commitment from everyone. So I know that these kids are tied in for however long our term is, but then we can go and do shows, we can go and do competitions. So just works like a gym membership. They just pay every month to come and dance. So that's where the main income comes. But also sometimes we do external workshops. So they might call up our dance school and say, hey, we want someone to cover a class. Yeah. And we're like, sure, we'll charge you, you know, £25 an hour and we'll come teach. So stuff like that. So that's another way of kind of like earning money. And guest performances and stuff like that as well.
Wow. And I'm sure your mind's probably thinking of now that you've done it limited, like what you're gonna do in the future. Can you give us a bit of an insight into what else you're planning for it?
How do you know?
Come on. You told me you're doing 12 hustles. There's no way you haven't thought about that. Yeah.
So my next chapter is creating an agency.
Okay.
Literally just having an agency and representing like every single student. For could be TV shows, whatever it is. But now that you know, I've built those connections with other people, it's like
and you're on TV as well too.
Yeah.
You've got the media connections.
Yeah. So it's like, hey. So that's my next chapter, is actually being an agency for these young people that you can represent. And like I said, we come from a low income family. Like our memberships are not crazy because I know where we're from. But we still, you know, have a hall to pay for. We still have like teachers to pay for. So we've done it on a very low income, but I want to be able to give back and actually being like, you know what? These young people are getting paid, I don't know, 2K for a trainer campaign. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I want to be able to give back to them as well. So that's my long-term goal in actually introducing an agency side to my dance school.
Okay. Wow, that's smart. And I think it makes sense because you're I don't want to say creating the talent, but you're helping the talent to flourish, right? 100%. And then you then help them to get opportunities and to be seen. I think it's not that talent's not out there, it's just that them being discovered.
Yeah, it's like no one knows they're there.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. That's sure that the families are going to be like super, super happy about that. No, it's been great having this conversation with you, Elvie. So what do you have planned next for yourself?
Oh, so I haven't actually told anyone this. Like publicly, I mean. But for 2023, I would actually, in terms of my Save With Elvs content side, I would really love to have my own side hustle show.
Okay. Wait, does this sound like this is happening? Sounds like,
do you know what? Weird enough, I had my first meeting today about it. Literally today.
Wait, show like on TV?
Yeah. I'd love to have a TV. Okay. I would love to have a TV show, but I think right now it's just commissioning it to just be a little thing for now, and then pitching it to them like, hey, this is what I've done. So that's the aim. So we're putting it out there because that's what I want to do. Showcase people's side hustles. So
that'd be epic.
Fingers crossed.
I mean, it sounds like the talks are, you know, progressing well.
Literally I had my first meeting today. So, and they sounded quite excited about it, like as in the film production company that I approached. So they were like, this sounds pretty good, cool. So I hope no one runs away with the idea. So you know, we had it here, so...
To be honest, though, it's your idea, it's your vision, and it's you. Even if they try to get somebody else with it, it might be dry. Let's be real, right? You have to... I feel like if somebody has a vision and they've got a purpose, that's the person that you give it to. You don't try and give it to some generic presenter. Just because they're a big name, I think. No, I don't think they'll do it justice, to be honest. So, Wow. Okay, cool. Let me know how that goes. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Save With Elvs on TikTok, Instagram, and
YouTube. The quiet version of it. And do you have any final words for the listeners and watchers?
Yeah, I mean, 2023. Well, they're watching it at 2023.
They're going to be watching 2023, yeah.
So
Or listening.
If you're watching or listening in 2023, this is your year. Like, you know, any goals, any personal finance goals that you want to reach, just find a certain side hustle that you think you're going to really enjoy and aim for that goal. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, Elvie. Great speaking to you. Thank you so much for, you know, talking about everything that you do. I think that what you do is super inspirational, and it's going to inspire a lot of the listeners and watchers, because, you know, there's a lot of people out there that feel like, you know, I get a lot of comments on my TikTok. Oh, like, oh, you know, how is doing Amazon worth this? Is it worth it? I think at the end of the day, it's like you said, just find something that you like and just run with it.
Yeah.
And just stick with it, you know, just have a little bit of patience and just keep doing it. If you like it, I'm sure you can make some form of money from it. I feel like there's
100%.
too many opportunities out in this world nowadays.
It's too many.
You know, and people, I feel like they just want to play it safe sometimes, especially when you're young. I feel like take the risk, right?
Yeah.
Do something different, try something out and see if it works. It may not, it may do. And I feel like your story shows that if you put yourself out there, it'll work.
Yeah, and just chop and change. Just try different things, because you never know what you're going to enjoy, what you're not going to enjoy.
Exactly.
And it opens the doors for you trying out different things.
Exactly. So yeah, it's been amazing. Watchers and listeners, appreciate you tuning into this episode of the Takeoff Experience. I hope that you have a great 2023, and we'll see you next week.